Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. So, I actually let you guys vote on the topic of today's video in the community tab, and most of you wanted me to talk about the ESPN layoffs and Malika Andrews specifically, because I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. This lady drives me fucking insane. Like, I don't know how, out of all the people they laid off at ESPN, they didn't lay off Malika Andrews, because somehow they got rid of Jeff Van Gundy, they got rid of Jalen Rose, even supposedly Stephen A. Smith's job is not even 100% confirmed, like, or safe. They brought on Pat McAfee, obviously they kept JJ Redick, but, like, I gotta think to myself, man, like, how this girl kept her job all this time is astonishing to me, because she does things that are just straight up vindictive and fucked up all the time. Like Adrian Payne, a player who used to play basketball for Michigan State, passed away, right? Something happened. I think he got into a car accident or he was shot, something like that. And like, in her process of talking about it, decided, oh, we're going to announce like every single team that he was ever waived from. We're also going to talk about how, like, he had a domestic dispute. And all, like, she has a problem with bringing up people's criminal records when it comes to men specifically. Then, in the draft this year, 2023 NBA draft, Brandon Miller, second overall pick, he's getting drafted, literally is like the least guilty guy out of all the shit that fucking happened with that thing at Alabama where his teammate, I think Miles, I don't know what his first name is, but his teammate shot and killed a woman. Okay, and supposedly, I don't know if Brandon Miller brought him the gun, or I'm not sure what gave him a ride to this place. I don't know what but he's the least guilty person in this whole fucking thing. Like, they even have another guy who's like an accomplice to the fucking murder. And when he gets drafted on like the biggest day of his life, she feels a need to bring up, oh, well, he was also indicted on capital murder. Like, no, he wasn't. In fact, like, the Hornets wouldn't have fucking drafted him if he was going to jail. So, like, she just constantly has this thing where she loves to bring up shit. I don't know if it's just specifically about black men, or because she dates a white dude who called Russell Westbrook a fucking vampire, okay? So, like, it's just the idea, like, something is obviously wrong with this woman where she absolutely despises fucking men. And on top of that, okay, Joe Mazzulla. The Joe Mazzulla thing. Like, Ime Udoka gets fucking ousted at Boston for having a consensual relationship with a coworker, and then she goes on ESPN and gaslights Stephen A. Smith on his own show, calls in, it's like, well, we're not blaming women. No, but the fact of the matter is you're always bitching about equality. Well, this is true equality. If Ime Udoka is the one who's going to get exposed, the female deserves to be exposed too, because it was a consensual relationship. So, like, I'm just saying, like, you know, fight fair, motherfucker. Like, that's where I'm at. How Malika Andrews and Kendrick Perkins, of all people, keep their jobs, but Jalen Rose gets fired or laid off? Jeff Van Gundy gets laid off? I mean, there was, like, a whole bunch of people that got laid off. Max Kellerman, gone. Keyshawn Johnson, gone. Okay? Like, it just, I just don't get it. I don't understand how it's like they keep arguably the worst fucking people possible, but then get rid of the people that actually provide some type of value to the show. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. ESPN has gotten stale over the past 6 or 7 years, okay? They're all fucking debate shows at this point. And people are tired of debate shows. I hate to say it, but, like, people are tired of them. Even like Shannon, excuse me. Even Shannon Sharp is no longer on Undisputed. Like, it's just like, we're at a point now, man, where I'm like, all the fucked up things that Malika Andrews has done, it is astonishing to me that she still has a job. Even Kendrick Perkins, going back to the Joe Mazzulla thing, Kendrick Perkins opened his mouth and just had a different opinion, and she just kicked him off the show. Oh, well, we gotta go to something else. Sorry, I don't like your opinion, so bye. Thanks for coming. Like, how does this woman keep her fucking job? Like, I'm sorry, but, like, Rachel Nichols right now is looking like a fucking picnic basket compared to Malika Andrews. And nobody likes her. No, not a single fucking person likes her. And the only reason she still has a job is because I guess we don't fucking know if it's a teleprompter that she's reading it off of or if these are things that are actually her own opinions. And based on what I've seen on TV, the way that she reacts to things, the way that shit plays out, it's very obvious she holds these fucking opinions. And I'm sorry, but like, I have no respect for people who on somebody's biggest day of their lives, okay? Guys like Brandon Miller getting drafted, okay? And Joe Mazzulla finally becoming a head coach and getting the opportunity to lead a team on their biggest days. She is the person that wants to rip everybody down and make them seem like horrible fucking people. I mean, let's be honest. Like, I shouldn't have to justify to you why bringing something up that happened 13 fucking years ago is irrelevant. Like, she brought up a domestic bar dispute for Joe Mazzulla from 13 years ago, 2008. The dude's in his 30s, so what? He was like fucking 18 when it happened? I mean, what is shit? Do we just think people don't fucking change? Do we think people don't mature? Do we think people don't grow up? I went to high school 10 fucking years ago, okay? I got my high school reunion coming up. Some of the people that I thought in my life would never grow up are some of the most mature people I know now. I mean, it's just amazing to me how, like, as time goes on, like, people just hold these fucking opinions like, if you did it once, then that's who the fuck you are. And I don't understand how this bitch kept her job. I don't. I really don't. And I would argue that if they put out a poll, right? Let's just say, like, just for ha-has, shits and giggles, right? Let's just say ESPN put out a poll of, like, the people they wish to most be fired from ESPN. I guarantee you Malika Andrews would be, like, at the top of that list, and fucking Kendrick Perkins would be at the top of that list, and Jeff Van Gundy and Jalen Rose would be at the fucking bottom. Max Kellerman would probably be at the fucking bottom, even though his takes are, like, kind of out there sometimes. Like, Max Kellerman would not be at the top of that list at all. I get it. We're kind of in a recession. People don't want to admit it, so I understand why, like, ESPN's laying people off. You got the fucking Biden administration out here changing the definition of a recession so people vote for him again. But it's just the idea, like, I understand that companies do layoffs. I understand that programs don't work. I understand sometimes you try shit, you tried it for a certain amount of time, and it doesn't work anymore, you know? But it's just the idea, the problem with ESPN is their content has been fucking stale for a very long time. The only people I watch, like, this might come as a shocker to you guys in some ways, but, like, when it comes to ESPN shows, it's strictly ESPN shows. The only shows that I watch is not even an ESPN show. It's a Fox Sports 1 show. It was Undisputed with Skip and Shannon. The only sports show I would watch. Outside of that, I watch YouTube content creators. Okay, I don't watch ESPN. I watch Strong Opinion Sports with Zach Schaumler. Go support his shit, man. If you like NFL content, go watch Zach Schaumler, Strong Opinion Sports. Okay, I watch other YouTubers, other basketball content creators. I don't watch what ESPN says because I don't give a fuck what ESPN has to say. A lot of the times, the shit that they say is more blasphemous than the shit that I fucking say sometimes. You know, like, and I had some pretty wild fucking takes. I had a take in the past, what was it, last year or the year before, saying that the Toronto Raptors were paying too much money for Pascal Siakam, okay? And he's an all-NBA player at this point. You know what? I can acknowledge when my takes are wrong. I even put out a take that I thought Shaedon Sharpe would suck, okay? I was known as the Shaedon Sharpe hater on fucking YouTube for a long time before he was even drafted. But you know what? I corrected my stance. These people don't. These people just say blasphemous shit all the fucking time and get away with it. Nobody cares, okay? I watched fucking... Max Kellerman would say for a final shot, he would take Andre Iguodala taking that shot over fucking KD or Stephen Curry. I mean, it's just the idea, man. Like, that's why I don't watch ESPN. And part of the reason I don't watch ESPN anymore is because these talking heads that they have all hold these stupid fucking political biases. They all have an agenda. It's just like, come on, man. Like, she kept her job? I don't know, man. You know what? At the end of the day, it's going to be what it's going to be. I can understand if certain guys aren't performing up to a certain standard. But like Colin Cowherd. Like, Colin Cowherd's a guy I can't stand to watch. I think his takes are fucking terrible. I mean, terrible. Okay? Like, Colin Cowherd is one of those guys that's like, as soon as I hear people say, oh, well, I saw it on The Herd or Colin Cowherd anything, I just ignore their fucking opinion. Okay? Like, that's how bad it is with Colin Cowherd. And you have Malika Andrews going as far also to accusing Jalen Rose of, like, putting his hand under her armpit or whatever when he hugged her, when that was clearly not the fucking case. But, like, this woman, for whatever reason, has, like, an agenda to specifically go against fucking men. Like, she's a flaming feminist, obviously. And I just think to myself, if you're ESPN, there was so, like, if you would have got rid of Malika Andrews, brought back Rachel Nichols, who Rachel Nichols, by the way, is now, if I'm correct, on the All the Smoke podcast with Matt Barnes and Stack, which, that, by the way, that's another great podcast. Like, that's the thing, man. There's so much other shit out there now than ESPN. Like, you have professional NBA players out here with their own podcasts. Gilbert Arenas, The Arena with Gilbert Arenas, has his own podcast. Paul George has his own podcast. Fucking Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson have their own podcast. Kevin Garnett has his own podcast. JJ Redick has his own podcast. So why in the fuck would I watch ESPN? When obviously the people that I'm watching, like JJ Redick, fucking amazing content, okay? Like, that guy, I like his fucking opinions. I don't always agree with them, but it's just the idea, like, he hits more often than not. A lot of these other people, I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck what Kendrick Perkins has to say about anything, because a lot of the time his takes are hot takes, which it seems like for whatever reason, like, hot takes are like starting to make sort of a comeback, it seems, in the mainstream sports world, because like I see people say blasphemous shit every single fucking day, like Mad Dog, okay, on ESPN. He's had a couple times where I've said things like with the Bob Cousy take and stuff like that. I understand the placing that it comes from, but I'm like, no. Okay, like if Chris Paul and Bob Cousy played one-on-one, okay, Bob Cousy's getting fucking toasted. It's just the idea, like, I would rather listen to the opinions of people who have played the game or are heavily invested in the game enough to understand, like, where their stance comes from on certain opinions, right? Like, even me, I put out things and people tell me I'm wrong on things when I know I'm right about them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't make videos out here to just blow smoke up everyone's ass. I come out here and I make videos because I firmly believe these things and I've thought about them. You know what I'm saying? I don't just come out here and just say, oh, okay, well, we should trade for fucking Joel Embiid because fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a reasoning and logic behind everything that I say. Whether, like, I think awful hard sometimes about the things that I say before I make these videos, because I know there's going to be somebody in the comment section who sits there for days and wants to reply to me every single fucking day to try to prove why they're right. So I try to make my arguments as foolproof as possible. It doesn't always happen, but it's just the idea, like, I try to at least take a realistic stance. And when I see shit like this with ESPN, where it's like they're just laying people off to lay them off, and then they keep the people that the community, are not even arguably hates the most, it's just like you can't tell me anybody hated Jalen Rose and Jeff Van Gundy more than they hate Malika Andrews. When, like, 90% of your demographic is probably men. Like, okay, yeah, maybe Malika Andrews can get away with it because she's, like, one of the better-looking hosts on ESPN, but let's be real, okay? Like, if Malika Andrews was gone tomorrow and fired from ESPN, there'd be more people saying hallelujah than there would be people going, oh my god, I can't believe they fired her. It just, I don't know, man. At the end of the day, it's gonna be what's gonna be. ESPN's been doing layoffs, and I am fucking astonished that Malika Andrews wasn't fired and that Kendrick Perkins somehow still has a job. Anyway, tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. A like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more. I'm the Fast Break Report, and out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.